Hating every one of
Yep. I'm immediately putting into his journal, Dear Diary, the orcs failed to burn down Watcher's hideout. ... But I won't. Okay, so what are you guys keeping anything out of the story, or are you
Oh
telling the
yeah,
full thing, or
I'm not telling anything.
yeah, you're just like I'm not fucking talking. You just give them dirty
I didn't really
glances.
decide. I don't care to tell tales.
And that they're
You could
totally
leave
doing that
out any
thing.
mention of.
Don't kiss and tell, I. Would you?
I'd leave out anything about Latia.
Okay, so all the Latia stuff you cut out.
Smart.
Everyone else do the same, or is someone gonna blab their mouth? Like, i.e., Steven, like does Beavis have a filter?
Well, he doesn't have so much a filter, but he's mumbling about different things right now. The
Okay.
width of trees, the rings that he found.
Oh, he's giving a full scientific like dialogue of like every fucking flora and fauna and plant and like people just get bored listening to him and like leave.
And I would say that maybe like 90% of the way peppered through, there's some really like big secrets that shouldn't be heard, but nobody's listening anymore.
Yeah, they go glassy eyed, so they miss what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. How about you, Riley? You're muted.
I'm just chilling between the two, just enjoying the stories that are going on. I'm a little taken aback that, Beavis would blab, not terribly surprised, though.
Yeah, so occasionally he'd say like some big secret, you'd quickly like look around to see if anyone would listen, and no one would. And then you'd be like, tell them about the wolves!
This part.
Yeah, awesome.
Tell them about the part that Valiant got her ass kicked by a little girl.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and probably a lot of people are also like surrounding Dendi too, because wood elves are crazy rare out and beyond the Ironwood, so they're talking to her about a lot of things, and she's being polite about it all, but she's like kind of like red in the face, just all over from like being like surrounded, because like everyone's getting inside her bubble, and people are like drunk and like leaning on her. Probably someone cops a feel at some point, at which point she beats the ever-living shit out of them.
That's what I was waiting for.
Like, she shillelaghs the hell out of that dude. And then, which makes the bar laugh even more from the chaos. So that's the course of your day. It's basically you're just hounded by your being popular. However, Beavis, that night, you're maybe you had a drink or two, but you've kept yourself astute overall. And that night you find yourself walking along the pathways of Watcher's hideout, and you feel that weight in your pack, where there's a letter from one of your good friends. Yeah. And you pull it out and you read it again, and you remember that all of this journey was intended to lead you to answers, and you felt you were so close in the Ironwood.
But those fucking wood elves.
But they only gave you more questions.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do so, you look up at the stars, and you quickly realize that something's different about the night sky. Stars are missing.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, even from like a month ago when we knew...
From the last time that you saw the night sky to now, 13 to 18 stars are missing in the night sky.
Are they relatively close to each other?
Yeah, what's going on?
They're in like a pocket of the sky.
That would be sketched, because I'm assuming that I would have sketches of the sky. That would be a new sketch.
Sure. Actually, I think that's... let's do this. give me what you feel would be a roll if you want to actually identify what stars. Because I think you've role played your character well enough that we all know for a fact that you would probably have a many constellations, a set of constellation scrolls in your bag.
I
It's
guess
wrong
I'll
to check.
say if that existed, I would go for it, but I'm just gonna go for history because it's the past of stars, I guess.
Right, that's fine. So you know from your research about the Dark Age to this point that only one of the stars um, is particularly missing, and you're surprised that no one's talked about it with you. But it's one of the original 10 stars that came back to the night sky after the Age of Darkness.
So you're saying when the sky lost all stars, there were like 10 that came back before
There were
the
10
rest.
that originally came back,
Okay.
and one of those 10 is missing, and it is known as the North Star.
And does that have the same significance it does in our world, where it's kind of a
No, it's not like the one that, but it's basically, I guess it would, but maybe
maybe it wouldn't be as extreme in a world with like magic and stuff, where you can just cast a spell and find out the way home.
I think it would still have the significance known, except for where like the North Star is like the only star that's like that. There's 10 stars that are like that. Each one has a significance to the world as a whole now.
So it's the northern constellation.
Right. And it's kind of like that star and then stars near it, all focused around it, are the ones that are missing.
Well, Yokek died.
Yeah.
And you know that this constellation, when it returned, people attributed it to the constellation of Ixtor, that it was a part of the constellation of Ixtor. And that entire constellation, everything that draws Ixtor is missing.
I guess I would wait to speak to the rest of Ixtor's followers and say like, yo, some bad shit happened. I don't.
Well, I mean, we're thinking this is late at night. I mean, that can be in the beginning of, like, the future campaign, but that's the thing you notice.
I mean, I guess I would mention that to the rest of our party when they wake up.
Right. Thorgil, you also, over the course of heavy drinking and occasionally having to turn down a number of flirtations towards you over the course of the night.
From the barmaid.
And extricate yourself from the chaos of partying to go out into the fresh air of the town, and maybe you're going out back to relieve yourself, and as you're buttoning up and walking back in, you hear this ting, and the chain that holds your goddess's symbol around your neck snaps around the back and slowly starts sliding down your armor, and you catch it in your hand. And as you look at it and you hold it out, the shine, the sheen, and the brilliance of your goddess in her symbol seems muted and dull, like tarnished silver and what's the when you scratch steel. My brain didn't work.
I don't know.
What are we looking for?
Like the scrub steel. Like what's that phrasing when like the metal is scratched up and it has that dull, muted look to it instead of shiny.
Scuff?
Like
Tarnished?
not tarnished.
Oh,
Anyways,
steel.
it looks tarnished and it's lost its luster to it. And you begin to recall over the course of that journey into the wood, how just it felt like everyone was in on a secret about your goddess that you were not privy to. How everyone looked at you with sadness and pity and told you sorry, like you had lost a loved one in battle. But even losing someone in battle would be more glorious because you would have heard exploits of their valor in war. And this, it's like they had no great story to tell. And that weighs upon you as you return back to the bar. Valar, being one that has extricated himself innately, the isolationist that you are, you find yourself in your room, avoiding the clatter and cheering downstairs and the raucous roar. It's not for you. You sit there and the only company you have is your pseudo dragon. And then a single candle as you pore over old texts and magics. And then you hear that whispering in your ear. The voice that usually haunts your dreams. And it says to you, there still may be hope for you yet.
Okay.
We questioned if you were worthy of the god that you claim to worship. But you did well. We did not need to even guide you, and you knew the proper paths, which shows a true devotion. The jawbone found where it needed to go. Know that the blessings come strong from him, and he will be watching to see if you can maintain his favor in the future.
Oh, fantastic.
Riley,
LA.
where would you find yourself? You're a little bit of my wild card as far as like, would you be partying? Would you be talking with people? Would you be alone?
I'd probably be outside, to be honest, because I have not seen Chum in a long time.
Yeah, that's right. So you're in the stables, and maybe you're talking with Chum,
Rocky.
Chum and Rocky, and you're at a table and you're cleaning your gun. And as you're doing so, you're counting your bullets and your gunpowder quantities and everything like that. And you start reminiscing back to your past, to where the distance that you have come all the way from Stoltz to here. Basically, the ends of the world as far as you know. And you are no step closer to achieving ultimately revenge and retribution for the wrongs that have been dealt to you in that land and to those that you cared about. You are no bit closer. You've surrounded yourself with powerful people, but they don't even know the purpose. They don't understand why you have done what you have done, and now you question both the fact of maybe, do you really want to go back to that life at all? And I think as you're cleaning your revolver-like gun and you're doing the turns of the revolver, and you're smoothing it out and removing the soot, you keep thinking about how ultimate